So we're getting into this. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Matthew Cadges. I'm a volunteer medic here at Occupy Vancouver, and I'm here because I believe in this movement, and I think our system in a very deep and systemic way is broken. So my way of contributing is to be first aid.
So take me back to Saturday when Ashley we don't know if you overdosed, but she died. Just to walk me through what happened, where you were, and how it kind of came about.
I was standing right near the medic tent over there having a conversation. One of the other medics yelled at me that Chris needed OPAs. He was in this tent over here. I grabbed my kit, ran in. I was the third medic there. Chris and Trevor had already initiated CPR. Everything was being done perfectly. So I took a tertiary roll and checked skin temperature, checked for capillary refill, checked to make sure Chris was getting effective compressions. And about 5 minutes in from when I got there, fire and rescue, who were here on site, showed up. We got Ashley out of the tent, and they took over with compressions and breathing and attaching an AED. And so everything that could have been done was done.
But she did ultimately die. She was a 23-year-old woman. It's a very sad story. What does that do to, I guess, the feeling down here at the camp when somebody dies like that?
Well, it's, as you can imagine, been pretty somber down here the last 24 hours. There's been a lot of grieving. There's a candlelight vigil for Ashley again tonight. It's also brought a lot of people closer together. But yeah, there's just been a lot of grief, a lot of comforting, and a lot of people talking in small groups and hugging each other.
Now, did she overdose? Did she get doing drugs? Did you see any evidence of that inside the tent?
We found no evidence of sharps when we were in there. Of course, the police cordoned off the area and they did an investigation. I don't know what they found. The coroner will, of course, release a report when we get more accurate information as to time and cause of death. But there was no evidence of drug use that I saw.
Now, there was evidence of drug use on Thursday when somebody overdosed on heroin. Were you there for that as well?
I was the first responder for that. Yeah.
What happened?
Fortunately, I was in a tent with a friend. It was about 20 after 9 in the morning. Again, I was doing my rounds in the square, and somebody started shouting, "He's not breathing." So I directed somebody immediately to call 911, sprinted to the medical tent, grabbed a face mask, and dove into the tent. At that point, of course, your adrenaline's jacked. There's a million things going through your head, and I credit the training I've taken over the years because I did autopilot. Assessed, there was no breathing, no detecting pulse. I began CPR. I did one full cycle of CPR. A friend of Ty's was there. She said she was CPR. She took breathing and was doing compressions. She was doing effective breathing. Again, fire and rescue showed up after my first full cycle of CPR, and as they came into the tent to put in the OPA and put on the bag valve mask, I assessed a pulse in the throttle. As they continued breathing, I was able to assess a pulse in the radio.
Now, within 3 days, there's a heroin overdose and then a young woman who dies at this site. What do you think that does to public opinion and intent?
Yes, I care, and yes, I realize that a lot of the public are now saying a lot of nasty things about this site, but they all seem to be losing sight of the fact that 3 blocks from here is the downtown east side, 4 blocks from here is Insight. How many press conferences does Gregor Robertson do when somebody dies in an alley off the main place? And how many people hear about these problems? So we're a microcosm of the city. Vancouver's problems have become Occupy's problems because we are a safe space. People feel comfortable here. Vegetarian food, provide food, not problems. We have emergency medics on site. We have a multiple space. So is it any surprise that we've become a mini Vancouver?
So is this just a swamp now? Drugs sleeping outside? Has it lost that in essence?
No, it's going through the same growing pains of any Occupy movement. Our medics just came back from Occupy Wall Street, and they're having problems, and there's drug problems, and drug dealers, and all of these things going through their area, and they're finding solutions, they're finding ways to deal with it, and they're finding ways to become a better and tighter community. And they got 6 weeks start on us, so.
City Hall is saying very firmly now, protest, okay, protest is staying, structure, and amendments must go. And it's going all means, including legal ones, to get rid of this as soon as possible. It's going to happen.
Well, I mean, first they're going to have to go to a court of law and prove clearly, beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law, that their safety concerns override the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I think, yeah, well, they can try. Good luck.
If they come down here with a court order and police.
Then they come down here with a court order and police. Great. Good for them.
Have there been any other issues down here that we know about, the nerve overdose, we know about horses down one, that's what passed away, and then other overdoses that we've dealt with that we don't know about?
Nothing that I've seen or heard of. The only other major medical incident that we had nothing to do at all with Occupy. It was a gentleman who got into a fight with several people over on the Granville Strip, and in escaping his attackers, ran into the Occupy site. The medics that night treated him, called the ambulance, and had him taken away after being given emergency medical care here. We don't discriminate.
Okay, thank you. Good. Thanks very much.
Yeah, appreciate your time, thank you for that.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was. I can't remember.
Ben.
Ben Hadaway. Okay,
CBC.
Cameron. I recognize the name now. I didn't catch it at the first. And it was
We've bumped into each other a couple times. I'm Pete.
Pete Cameron. Yeah, I'm sure we have. And again,
been,
I love the CBC, and in general, I think you've been doing most very good work. Yeah, we did. Well,
Yeah,
Glad to
you guys
hear
have
that.
been
I know
doing good work.
there's-
There's been a few times when I've gone on the website and seen nothing about any of the occupiers, and I've been very disappointed at lack of coverage.
Really? Ooh, we've been covering it quite heavily, more heavily than